You're just wasting your life. I want a successful woman. That's why I'm divorcing you, my husband said coldly, not knowing that I had been quietly making millions in a secret world of my own. Within days he married my closest friend, but when the truth finally came out, I saw real fear and regret in his eyes for the very first time. You're just wasting your life. I want a successful woman. That's why I'm divorcing you. My husband said it in the same cold tone somebody would use talking about replacing a broken microwave, not ending a marriage. It was 8:43 at night. I was standing in the kitchen pulling a rosemary and garlic roast chicken out of the oven. The metal tray burned my wrist, but I didn't feel the pain until later. My name is Maren Holloway. I was 41 years old then. And my husband, the Don, honestly believed I spent my days sitting at home doing little online art projects. What he didn't know was that the world inside my laptop had quietly made me $3.8 million over the previous 6 years. And he definitely didn't know he was about to destroy his own life in front of a live audience. Before I go any further, take a second to like and subscribe, but only if you've ever proved somebody wrong after they underestimated you. Tell me in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is there. I really do sit up late reading comments sometimes. Anyway, let me take you back 11 years, to the first moment I realized my husband didn't see me as a wife anymore. He saw me as furniture. We lived outside Knoxville, Tennessee, in one of those upper-middle-class suburbs where every mailbox matched and everybody pretended their marriage was perfect. 2-story brick house. White shutters. Blue hydrangeas out front that I watered every morning while the Don acted like he personally grew them himself. I worked as a freelance botanical illustrator. It sounds fancier than it felt most days. I created hand-drawn garden concepts and floral branding packages for luxury hotels and landscape architects. Wealthy people paid me to make nature look elegant. The Don called it drawing leaves for rich people. He'd laugh when he said it too. Everybody else laughed with him. And stupidly I laughed too. That was my mistake. In the beginning he wasn't like that. Back when we met, he was a regional sales manager with good hair, polished shoes, and Fleetwood Mac playing in his truck. He brought me coffee. Opened doors for me. Told me my work was beautiful. But the more money he made, the emptier he became. Everything turned into status with him. Zip codes. Country clubs. Reservation lists. Lake houses. Eventually he started measuring me too. I still remember the company Christmas party in 2016. The smell of cinnamon candles and catered ham filled the hotel ballroom while people balanced cheap wine glasses in their hands. The Don wrapped an arm around my shoulder and joked to his coworkers. Maren works from home, so technically she retired before me. Everybody laughed. Including me. Then I locked myself in the bathroom 20 minutes later reapplying mascara because I'd already cried it off once. In 2018 he got promoted. His salary jumped to $240,000 a year. That's when things really shifted. You're not a serious career woman. You don't understand real pressure. You're lucky I pay the bills. Meanwhile, 71 out of the previous 96 mortgage payments had quietly come from my business account. I never corrected him. Never embarrassed him. Because my grandmother Edeline used to say, some men don't want love. They want an audience. I didn't fully understand that back then. Then Selora came along. Selora had been my closest friend for 14 years. She drank wine at my kitchen island. Complained about her ex-husbands. Borrowed my sweaters and forgot to return them. She wore too much vanilla perfume mixed with cigarette smoke, and somehow the smell always lingered after she left. The Don laughed harder around her than he did around me. That should have told me everything. One night I was folding laundry while reruns of some home renovation show played softly in the background. Theden's phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. The screen lit up. Selora, she really has no idea, huh? I froze. The scary part wasn't the suspicion. The scary part was the relief. Like the puzzle pieces finally fit. I didn't confront him. That I watched. For 17 days I watched everything. The 6:14 a.m. gym trips. The deleted calls at 2:47 every afternoon. The hotel bar charges on the credit card statement. And then came the sentence that killed whatever was left between us. I was carrying a laundry basket down the hallway when I heard him talking in his office. The door was cracked open. He laughed and said, she'll never fight back. Maren hates conflict. That's what makes this easy. I stood there barefoot on the carpet holding towels against my chest while my whole body went numb. I didn't cry that night. Something inside me just shut off, like a pilot light going out. 2 months later, he handed me divorce papers. It was raining outside. Tuesday afternoon. Water tapped against the kitchen windows in a steady rhythm while he sat across from me like he was discussing taxes. Then he repeated the line. I need an ambitious woman. Ambitious. I almost laughed. By then, my business was already bringing in $87,000 a month. Quietly. During the pandemic, wealthy clients suddenly wanted authenticity. Hand-drawn botanical maps. Estate garden renderings. Luxury branding packages that looked handmade instead of corporate. One client in Aspen paid me $42,380 for a painted olive branch logo. And the Don still thought I was basically selling Etsy crafts. 12 days after filing for divorce, he announced his engagement to Selora on Facebook. 12 days. The same woman who sat on my couch drinking Pinot Noir while telling me she loved me like a sister. I sat on the bathroom floor staring at the post while cold tile pressed against the backs of my legs. I held my phone so tightly my fingers cramped. Then my grandmother's friend called. Marcella Vane. 73 years old. Retired probate attorney. Smoked enough cigarettes to make her voice sound like gravel. She asked me one question. Baby, does the Don know anything about your company accounts? I told her no. There was silence. Then she laughed. Good. 2 days later, I drove to her office downtown. The building smelled like old wood, coffee, and dusty paper files. Marcella handed me a thick folder across her desk. Inside were 6 years of bank records, wire transfers, LLC documents, and one signed postnuptial amendment the Don had signed in 2019 because he assumed it was tax paperwork. Marcella lowered her glasses and said, legally, that fool waived every right to your business assets. My hands actually shook. You're sure? She closed the folder slowly. Sweetheart, I spent 41 years dealing with arrogant men. This one gift wrapped his own downfall. I sat in my car afterward with the July heat pushing through the windshield, trying not to throw up. Because for the first time I realized I might actually survive this. Over the next few weeks I became very quiet. The Don mistook silence for weakness. That was his second mistake. I hired a forensic accountant for $11,600 upfront. Then a business litigator. Then I changed passwords, moved accounts, and signed papers on a restored 4,800 square foot brick house in Nashville. Outside I looked exhausted. Inside I was counting. Dates. Emails. Transfers. Lies. Then the invitation arrived. Selora and Theden's engagement party. Country club. 148 guests. Live jazz band. And the funniest part? The Don insisted there be a giant slideshow celebrating their love story. Before I continue, tell me something honestly. Have you ever had people underestimate you so badly they accidentally expose themselves right in front of you? Leave it in the comments. And if you want to know what happened the night the Don grabbed that microphone at the country club, stay with me. The night of the party, I wore a navy blue silk dress. Nothing flashy. Just elegant enough to remind myself I still existed. Selora wore white satin because, of course, she wanted the engagement party to feel like a wedding. The country club smelled like grilled steak, expensive perfume, and polished wood. People walked around carrying champagne glasses and fake smiles. And the Don? Oh, he thought he was king of the world. At exactly 8:09 p.m. he took the microphone. Some relationships outgrow themselves, he announced. People nodded. Sometimes you realize you've been carrying somebody who refused to grow with you. Across the room, Marcella calmly stirred ice in her tea. The Don kept going. Selora challenges me. She's driven. She understands success. Then came the sentence that changed the room. Some people are comfortable staying small forever. A few guests laughed politely. Selora squeezed his hand. Then the slideshow started. Vacation photos. Boat weekends. Wine tastings. Smiling selfies. Then the screen went black. The Don frowned and turned around. Because the slideshow had changed. Marcella stood up slowly beside the projector table. Actually, she said, since we're celebrating success tonight, maybe everyone deserves the full story. The room went still. The only sound was ice clinking against glasses. Then documents appeared on the screen. Bank transfers. Mortgage payments. Revenue charts. $3,842,119.16. Another slide appeared. 71 mortgage payments from Marin Holloway Creative LLC. Then came an email. Pheidon's own words. Just have her sign it. She never reads legal forms anyway. Someone coughed. Then the whispering started. Pheidon's face drained white. Selora looked at him like she was seeing him clearly for the first time. Marcella's voice stayed calm. Funny thing about arrogance. It usually makes people sloppy. Then she projected the post-nuptial agreement onto the screen. The Dawn Veil. Signed March 14, 2019. 6:52 p.m. Marcella removed her glasses. By his own signature, Mr. Vale waived all claims to Miss Holloway's company's properties and future earnings, including the Nashville property purchased 11 days ago. The entire room went dead silent. And for the first time in 15 years, the Don looked at me like he truly understood who I was. I stood up slowly. My heels pressed into the carpet. I didn't grab the microphone. I just looked at him and said, "You never wanted a successful woman, the Don. You wanted somebody who looked smaller than you." No screaming. No dramatic scene. Just the truth. Quiet. Clean. Final. Selora took off her engagement ring that same night. I saw it happen with my own eyes. 6 months later, Pheidon's company quietly pushed him out. Investors apparently didn't appreciate public humiliation attached to their brand. He tried moving to Nashville, but his reputation got there before he did. Last year he emailed me at 2:11 in the morning. Subject line: "I miss who we were." I never answered. Because honestly, part of me missed him too. Or maybe I just missed the version of him I kept trying to believe existed. Now I live in Savannah, Georgia. There are citrus trees behind my house. Every morning around 7 o'clock, sunlight stretches through my kitchen windows and paints gold lines across the counters. I still do botanical work. But now I also mentor younger women artists who've spent years hearing people call their dreams cute little hobbies. Sometimes I sit on my back porch and reread Adeline's letters. The paper still smells faintly like lavender. One line stays with me more than the others. Roots stay quiet. That's why people forget where the tree gets its strength. And honestly, I think that's true about women too.